Well, we're taking the Lincoln on a road trip. As I said, we are taking the Lincoln on a road trip. My son and I are going to be driving this thing over 1,000 miles. So the first stop I think is about 600 or so miles, 700 miles, and we'll stay overnight, and then we'll do the other 300 to 400 the next day. So this thing's going to be driven a lot, and I've only put a couple hundred miles on it. I've probably put 300-400 miles on it. Issues I know it has is it leaks oil and it leaks transmission fluid. Other than that, so far it seems solid. So we're going to go with it. And the transmission fluid leak seems mostly to be when it sits. I think it's probably the pump seal, the front pump seal is leaking, and I think what's happening is the converter's draining back overnight, and then it leaks out that seal, because it doesn't seem to leak that much when it's running. You know, there's not I feel like if I was driving and it was leaking as bad as it is when it's sitting, then you know the whole underside would be coated in transmission fluid. But if you let this thing sit overnight, it leaves a puddle of transmission fluid. But like I said, I think we'll be good driving it. But we've got a ton of stuff we're taking. So if you've followed along on this thing sat in a barn for at least 15 years, and the barn eventually fell on it. I rescued it and got it running again. We had some bent push rods on it. It had been running with those bent push rods I don't know how long. Engine was full of sludge. We had low compression on, I think, 2 cylinders on the passenger side. Pulled that head, did a valve job on that head, put it back. We've got good numbers across the board now. And cleaned up as best I could and all that kind of stuff. But it's still kind of an unknown vehicle. You know, I've been through the cooling system. It's got a new radiator, new hoses, new heater core, all that stuff. New water pump, timing cover, gaskets. Did I say hoses? Radiator hoses, heater hoses. I feel good about the cooling system. I put a new fan clutch in it because the fan clutch was not working. All that. I've got the AC working now. I've got heater working. I've got just lots of work done on it. I just put a new set of plugs in it, but I'd already put a set in it. I put another new set in it. It's got new plug wires, cap, rotor. Other than that, the ignition system is untouched. You know, distributor, ignition module, all worked as is. But these are known to go bad, so I've got an ignition module stuffed in the spare tire there, and I've got a distributor pickup, a reluctor wheel. I've got the old distributor cap, old rotor. All that stuff is tucked in the spare tire. Well, I'll show you what's tucked in the spare tire. Voltage regulator, ignition module, belts, because I packed it all in this box and then I moved it over to there. Distributor pickup, had a spare flasher, so if we lose blinkers or something like that, I'll just throw that in there. Coil, spark plug boots. These are cheap plug wires, and I've already burned up one boot, but it was because I had an exhaust manifold leak. But anyway, I'll throw an extra boot in there just in case. Throw in a couple extra old plug wires that were still good. I've got a full set of used plugs. I've got a coil wire, used distributor cap, used rotor. I had to buy some push rods. I bought a pack of them when I replaced the bent one, so I just threw that in there just in case. Might as well. It didn't take up much space. Hose clamps, distributor reluctor, thermostat. I've got thermostat gaskets, hose clamps, and a couple spare bulbs. I've got a little air pump in there. I went ahead and threw the old oil cap in there because the one I put on it's leaking a little bit on the gasket, so I may throw the original one back on it. I've got a tire plug kit. I'm gonna throw some miscellaneous bolts and stuff in my box here, and Oh, I had a set of freeze plugs. And I think they're for small block Chevy, but I went ahead and just threw that in there. If we pop a freeze plug, maybe we'll have one that fits to replace it. I've got some wheel chocks in there in case we need to use the bumper jack. I need to throw some jack stands in here. I'm gonna throw 2 jack stands in here. I've got a jack from a scissor jack, which is what we'll use hopefully if we do have a flat. That's from Junkyard, and I modified the end to fit my lug wrench that fits this car. I did put different wheel lugs when I changed the wheels, so the factory lug wrench does not work, but it is packed in back there because that is the handle for the bumper jack. So I did pack it, but the lug nuts now are 3/4, so I just threw a 4-way in here. I've got a box there of miscellaneous parts that did not fit in the spare tire. To be honest, I don't even remember what's in there. I think that's got the distributor cap and some other stuff. Packed way in behind there is all of the hoses for Hydro Boost and power steering. I have not touched any of those. It looks like one of them is slightly leaking, just barely. But like I said, I haven't touched them, and we're gonna be driving through the mountains. I don't want to lose power brakes, so you know, I could pull the belts off and we could run without the power steering, but I really don't want to be without power brakes. So I just packed those in there. They were cheap, so I ordered them from Rock Auto, and I kind of went through Rock Auto and just I didn't do a select all, but I went through all the different categories to see, you know, what could possibly fail and leave us stranded that I couldn't easily get, you know, like a voltage regulator, ignition module, you know, pickup in the distributor. All that stuff is super cheap on Rock Auto, so I just did that, did the power steering, power brake or Hydro Boost lines, did all that so that we would have that stuff in case we needed it. This thing takes Type F transmission fluid, so I've got a bunch of Type F transmission fluid. I've got more in here just because it does leak bad, and it does leak bad when it's off, and I don't want to be without Type F. Probably kind of hard to find. Walmart has it, but I don't know if all Walmarts have it, and I may not even have a Walmart nearby, and I don't have a parts store nearby. I know that. So we're just loading up on Type F transmission fluid. I've got coolant, I've got engine oil, and brake fluid. I've got a bunch of different heater hoses and different size fuel line, 3/8, 1/4 inch, 5/16, all down in there. I've got some Marvel Mist oil in case we need it. I've got an extra fuel line because I just had it for the Edelbrock. I way overthink stuff. I need to clean this stuff out, but I still got to throw more tools in here. And then I've got a spare set of used belts, a set of new belts except for the AC belt. I had to throw the new one on because this thing likes to eat belts, it seems like, but I've tightened the heck out of it, and so hopefully it doesn't leak, or hopefully it doesn't slip. We're going to be changing total, I think Pikes Peak, the drive up there, which we will drive in here, is like 14,000 feet, and I think where we're staying is somewhere in 10,000s, maybe not, maybe it's 7 or something, I don't remember, but it's pretty high up, and we're pretty much at sea level here. I think we're at 23 feet above sea level. So total, we're going to climb over 14,000 feet in sea level of elevation. So I know for sure we're probably going to at least have to readjust the idle mixture, but I did bring, and I am bringing, a calibration kit for the Edelbrock. I did install an AFR meter, and based on that, I did change the jets on the primaries. I went with the smaller jet, and it's pretty close. It's in the 13.8 cruising, in the 13.8 to 4 range, which, you know, should be 14 or 13. It's in 13.8 to 14 range. and it should be about 14.6, 14.7, but this is like, I can't get non-ethanol gas here. This is probably 10% ethanol or so, and so I think that should be around 14.0, if I recall correctly, for 10% ethanol. So we're about where we need to be. I wanted to make sure it was, because we're going to get rich as the elevation climbs, and this thing was already super rich. It was cruising like at 11 to 12. So we've leaned it out. I could not get the secondaries. The jet did not seem like it wanted to come out, and I wasn't going to risk stripping it out, or stripping the head off of it. So did not mess with the secondaries. The secondaries are really rich, so we're just going to try to stay out of the secondaries we'll just try to stay out of the secondaries because when we do, it's going to be super rich. It's super rich here. It's like 10 to 11. If you really, it levels out a little bit, but it goes really rich. Anyway, we can't do anything about that right now. I'm gonna have to pull the carburetor probably off and heat the secondaries and then try to get them out. So we're not doing anything about that right now. I've got a spare, I've got an electric fuel pump. In case we run into issues and we lose a fuel pump, I can quickly hook this thing up and get it working to get us going again. It does have a new fuel pump in it though, new mechanical. Like I said, this kit, I've got 2 cans of brake cleaner, an extra oil filter just in case we need it. I've got a can of AT205 just in case we really spring a leak somewhere. Got a dash cam to catch some stuff or catch some scenery. And I was going to put this in so we can monitor the temperature. The AC is putting out. I was going to do this before we leave, but we're running out of time. Got our manual I need to put in the glove box. Toll tag I need to put on here. This is all for the dash cam. New roll of electrical tape. Super 33. That's going to get packed in. This is all dash cam stuff. New car scent, because this is a new car, and I think that's pretty much here. I've got a trim tool that came with that guy. We're gonna throw this in the glove box. We need to pull a door panel or something because we lose the power window motor. We got that covered. Like I said, I overthink stuff. I've got a full set of wrenches here. Probably throw a couple ratchet wrenches in. The spare tire, the original hold down was a locking hold down. That was broke. So I put a nut on it, takes a 7/8. So this is here to undo the spare tire if we need to. And then this is a really good set. I really like this set. I'll show you real quick. I know this is getting long. You don't want to see all the stuff I'm packing, and we're gonna throw even more tools in here. I've got a tool bag I normally take on road trips, and we're gonna throw that in. It's pretty much got everything. I've done lots of roadside repairs with it and normally have everything I need. Really good set here. It's got a good selection. Well, doesn't have much for metric. Well, it does have quite a few metric, but it's mostly standard. We've got a good set of deep sockets here. We've got these are all 3/8. We've got a good set of standard 1/2 inch with a 1/2 inch extension, some adapters and small sockets, 1/4 inch drive sockets, standard and metric, 3/8 standard and metric, all the way up to 13/16. I think we go up to 7/8 on the 1/2 inch. Yeah. And spark plug socket, got a nut driver, an adapter, and a 3/8. Really good set. If you ever find one of these at a swap meet, this set, get it. It's really good. Good quality Sears stuff. This is all made in USA stuff. So that's the set that I actually keep in the Lincoln. But we've got some miscellaneous. I got some screwdrivers and pliers and stuff. These are all going to go in a tool bag. But yeah, that's what's getting packed in this stuff. And I'm probably going to go ahead and take that roll. I had to replace the brake line this morning. I had one that was leaking. I've looked over everything. Everything looks good. But I had one hard line that's leaking. I fixed that this morning. I'm gonna go ahead and pack that with my double flare tool and my bender. If I blow a brake line, you know, I'll reuse my old fitting and hopefully be able to get us back on the road. I'm gonna take wire and a bunch of miscellaneous wire connectors, butt connectors. I'm gonna take my little propane or butane soldering iron, which has a torch and a little heat gun on it. You know, if I needed to heat a brake line, I could, and I'll take a can of butane to go with that. Wire crimpers, yeah, a full set of tools, just lots of stuff, because unknown vehicle, I don't want to be stranded. So yeah, so we're going to be kind of not really well, we're going to be in the middle of nowhere, so not a lot of selection for parts and stuff, so we're coming prepared. So maybe I'll show you once we get everything packed in here what we've got. I've got most of it packed away, but I'll show you the rest when I get it packed up. Well, fluids all checked, topped off, power steering, it was pretty much okay. And then I grabbed this to pack it. Look at that. Looks like a Mercedes symbol. And a few odds and ends that I need to pack up. But I think we are ready to go. I stopped and got gas and the thing wouldn't start. Lost battery completely. And that, I almost bought new battery cables for it, because I was gonna just go ahead and replace both of them, but I didn't like the connector here, the repair connector. And yes, I'm leaving my disconnect on. It's a good quality one. I like that one. It's better than some of the cheapies. It's got more contact area on the screw. Anyway, that connector was, this thing, bad connection. So shoved the battery cable up on there further, tightened them down. If I stop at a parts store, I may grab a battery cable just to have, but I think it'll be okay on the trip. I did pack a pack of, or 2 battery terminals that I had, so we've got those just in case. So yeah, I think we are pretty much ready to go. The only things left really are luggage. You know, I've got all the, I'm going to top off washer fluid. Hopefully it doesn't leak. I did some repairs on that. That bottle is junk. Evidently the seal leaked, and then the pump rusted up and split the housing where the pump goes. And I bought a new pump for it, and I JB welded the cracks up, but the pump seals as it goes in, and it's swelled up and split on the inside. So even though we repaired it on the outside, it's not wanting to seal on the inside. I took it back apart because it was leaking, and yeah, so we've got some work to do there. I think hopefully I've got it fixed. I'm gonna fill it up with water. If it leaks, it leaks, whatever. I am tired. It has been a push to get this thing ready to go, and I'm praying we have no issues with it. So a lot of work went into this thing, and it's been so hot here lately. I mean, I'm trying to stay hydrated because it's hot. Anyway, I think we're ready to go. Fluids checked. Fluids are all good. You know, they're leaking, but we'll just keep them topped off. Yeah. I don't know what else to say. Hitting the road in the morning. Got some tape on that because I put a little dab of glue in those two spots because the clips are not wanting to hold. It's holding because it's bolted through there, but it rattles and stuff. So yeah. Show you one last look at the back. I'm not taking the creeper. Here's what we got. I decided not to put that cover back here on just because if we need to get to parts and stuff, I just don't want to be dealing with it. And I'm going to tuck away tools back in here, and I don't really want to have to undo that cover to get tools out. I do have a tool bag here, and I'm gonna have another tool bag. We've got way too many tools that we're packing, but I want to be prepared, and I've got enough tools. I think I would be good with what I've got here, but I'm gonna grab the bag out of the Suburban as just kind of a, you know, I don't know, over preparedness, I guess. Over prepare. And then this is an empty jug I just had in case we need to fill it up with water or whatever. Got a funnel, lots of fluids in there. I gotta throw more fluids in. That gear oil and stuff's got to go in there. Yeah. And jack stands just in case. And then let's throw these in the bag, or throw that in the bag. These are my easy to get to. Probably gonna need them soon. This is just what well, I don't need a screwdriver, but and I'll throw that in the glove box. But 9/16 to tighten belts. So I've got that just easy to get to. Let's throw this in there. All right, now I've got a pack of water to put in here. Drinking, anyway, we've got lots of stuff to pack, you know, drinking wise, I guess. Drinking suitcase, all that kind of stuff. I say drinking, water and soda. There we go. Pack all. I should have put. You know what I should have done? All my hoses and belts. I'll probably do this. Not if I have to reorganize stuff. I'm gonna throw hoses and belts in that little space there, but I've got them all packed away now, so I'm not gonna mess with it. Air shock wise, we may need to throw some more air in it. Let's see, once we get all of our luggage in it. It's definitely sitting down a little bit in the back, I think. Looks like it to me. So, may throw just a little bit more air in them. We got a lot of weight of fluids and tools back here. And then we're about to throw luggage in here as well, so. Yeah, wouldn't hurt to put some more air in them. All right, I'm stalling because I was trying to cool down. Let me throw the rest of the stuff in here, and then I need to go in and pack my luggage. And I'm gonna pack a blanket too, in case we need to throw it down, you know, to work under it. And then I'll throw a pair of old clothes in here too. Maybe some coveralls or something like that I can work in. If we make it to where we're going, the temperature should be much cooler than here. So at least we'll have that going for us. But if we're working on it on the way, it's gonna be hot. So as far as stuff inside, I need to kind of clean it out. I've got a mess, so I got to do that. But we'll probably throw like groceries and ice chests and stuff in the back seat. Luggage will go in the trunk. I'm trying to make sure anything that could get stolen, we just pack it away in the trunk. It's the most secure spot. Yep, I think we're good to go. So that's it. We are as ready as we can be for this road trip. I've packed way too much stuff, way too many parts, way too many tools. But like I said, we are going to be out in the middle of nowhere, and you know, it's over 1,000 miles to our destination. You know, like I said, we're doing about 600 the first day and a little over 600 and about around 400 the second day, something like that, from what I recall. It's a little over 1,000 miles. So, you know, by the time the full road trip, you know, because we're gonna be doing a lot of driving while we're at our destination, you know, to all different areas, lots of driving in this trip. So all told, you know, I bet we're in the 2,500 mile at least for this whole road trip. So a lot of miles, and we are out in the middle of nowhere. I think the nearest parts store is about 40 miles from where we're going to be staying. And that's not easy miles. That is mountain miles. That is up and down mountains, 40 miles to a parts store. So I tried to pack everything I could to not need to go to a parts store, because if something happens, you know, say it won't start, I guess we could do like a 40-mile Uber or something and go get parts, but that's about our only option at that point. If there's even Ubers, you know, where we are, that's assuming there. So I didn't want to assume anything, so I packed everything. So tools, parts, packed everything. So next video you will see, we'll be traveling on our road trip. So make sure to stay tuned. Thanks for watching. Leave a comment down below. Hit the like button and subscribe for more.